Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I give our praise, glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Second, we give double honor to the Apostle GreatMillstone, who will well. Third one, say Shalom, YAHAWAH, to hope elect us, put us to the focus of the earth. So, I'm going to go into an article. I'm just going to hit a few articles, but essentially, it's not going to be a very long video, but it's going to be on essentially a house divided against itself cannot stand. See what I'm saying? And we're going to get some identifiers as to who Edom is. So, YAHAWAH, this is edifying. Let me hop right into it in no particular order. Let's see. Boom, boom. So, first thing I'll do is I'll show you this article. YAHAWAH, y'all can hear me. Let's see. Here we go. It says, leave nothing behind. U.S. forces, it says U.S. forces, give me one moment. Salakia. It says, leave nothing behind. U.S. forces destroy own airfield equipment as they flee northern Syria. So here's the article. If y'all can see it. Turn on the brightness. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. It's kind of, I know it's backwards, but it says the U.S. forces destroy their own pretty much stuff as they flee Syria. And bear with me here, but yeah, man, it just goes to show you. It says, reading down, it says, I know I'm crouched down, I don't have my camera stand, but here we go. It says, retreating U.S. Troops have bombed their base and landing strip near the town of Tel Tamer in northern Syria and destroy equipment at another one. Hastily abandoned facilities have previously caused embarrassment for Washington. So yeah, man. So they're destroying their own shit because they're trying to essentially retrace their steps, man. Retrace their steps. And let me reposition this. Salakia, yup. Essentially, Salakia. Essentially, that's what they're doing. They're trying to backtrack and get rid of all the madness that they put out there, man. See what I'm saying? But let me just hop into the scriptures. Salakia. Salakia for this. I know it's a real sloppy, sloppily put together. So let me try and adjust this. And bear with me. Aki on Wa'akwa. Kai, here we go. So it says, let's get this. Let's get it. Matthew 12 and verse 25, it says, and YAHAWASHI knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand, man. Come on, man. So essentially this place already put itself in that position when it created the left wing and the right wing, man. See what I'm saying? That's democracy, man. It goes into demos and kratos, which basically means essentially order out of chaos, man. So let me go get that just to clarify that. Let's see, man. Yeah, man, because this place doesn't have too much time left. If you have if you're clairvoyant enough to see, man. But let me get this definition real quick. this is the democracy. Here's the etymology of that word. So it says, just breaking it down, it says, here's the etymology. It says, government by the people's system of government in which the sovereign power is vested in the people as a whole, exercising power directly by elected officials. So there you go. So this is the definition of democracy, and it goes from the Greek word demotic. So let's go ahead and break that down. It goes into so Lakia, bear with me. It goes into the Greek. Let's get demos. So let me go back to the word, because I'm Salakia, y'all. Bear with me. So this is democracy, right? Let's get it. Here's the word democracy. And as you can see, I read the definition, but let's go a little bit further down. I'll just show you that I'm not switching the page. So if you go a little bit further down, I don't know if y'all can see that. Salakia. Try to angle it to where it's not shining on it too bad. But let's see. Raise the brightness just a little bit. Turn down the brightness. I don't know if y'all can see. But it goes into demos and kratos. Demos and kratos. Okay, so let's get that first portion. Demos. This thing does not want to focus. Let's get this first portion, demos. I'm gonna get that word, and we're gonna break it down, and then we're gonna get kratos. So that's where it derives from. So demos almost sounds very similar to the word demise. You see what I'm saying? So let's get it. So it's a sir word to a lot of terrible words, man. So here's the definition for the word chaotic. And if you look right here, I know it's probably hard to see, but one of the subwords is demos. See what I'm saying right there, which is the first portion of the word democracy. And I'm just gonna read it. It says chaotic. The definition of the word chaotic. It says in a state of primordial chaos, irregularly formed in English from chaos or chaotic. Probably. So it says eros, erotic, demos, demotic, hypnos, hypnotic. So yeah, man. That's why this place is called Babylon the Great, man. Because it's confusion, man. See what I'm saying? It's Babel, man. Confusion, man. So hypnos, man. It's nothing but witchcraft over here, man. See what I'm saying? And just like ancient Babylon, it's gonna get destroyed, man. And then let's get the second portion, man. Let's see. And let's get it, man. Let's get kratos, man. Good. So the word kratos, let's go back. So let's see. Because pandemic, it pulls up the word kratos for pandemic. So, which is really, it's just going back into demos again, but it pulled it up for pandemic. It used to have it on here. I don't see it on here anymore. Oh, I see. It pulled it up. Let's see. Salakia. Okay, here we go, man. Here we go. So cradle goes into crazy, which it says rule of government by form of cradix says strength, power, strength. So yeah, man, it's basically order out of chaos, man. See what I'm saying? And that's what we're in right now, man. Like I said, Salakia, I'm crouching down here because I got the phone on the table, so I don't have the stand. But yeah, man, let me get back into the scriptures. I just wanted to pull that up. So I'm going to get this again. It says, Matthew 12 and verse 25, it says, and Yahawashi knew their thoughts, and he said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand, man. So yeah, man, that's where we're at, man. That's the time that we're in, man. And eventually this place is it's already crumbling, but it's gonna crumble at a faster pace, man. See what I'm saying? Let's get this, man. Let's see, man. Let's see. Salakia, bear with me. I'm going through the spirit right now. I'm not really Here we go. Okay. Slovakia. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get this. Isaiah 49 and verse 2. It says, let me get a little bit closer. It says, and he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he hid me. Let's see. And that'll tie that with here. It says, I'm gonna start at Hebrews 4 and verse 10. It says, for he that is entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief, man. So yeah, man, you're supposed to labor to enter into the rest that we're into right now. But the point that I wanted to get is the next verse. It says, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Let's see, man. Let's see. So yeah, right. What we do out here is we preach the word, man, and the words that we speak are breaking down strongholds, man. So let's get this, man. Let's get this. Con. Jeremiah 28 and verse 8, it says, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. The Lord do so, the Lord perform thy words, which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of the Lord's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. It says, nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence, man. So man. So yeah, man. So we are the same men in our stead, man. See what I'm saying? So let's see. So yeah, man. So that's what we're doing, man. We're not for this place, man. We're against it, man. See what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's get this, man. Let's see. Here we go, man. These are the times that we're coming into, man. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So let's get this. It says, I'm going to just start at the top. Joel 3 and verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, it says, verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of YAHAWASHI, or Jehoshaphat, which is basically the Most High's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, man. So that's who's been scattered, man. See what I'm saying? It says that we've been scattered among the nations, and that's who he's coming back to fight for, man. It says, verse 3, it says, they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy, it says, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? If ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, man? So yeah, man, the Lord's not about trades, man. There's no more trading to be done, man. The point now is that it's go time, it's wartime, man. So we're in a space and we're in the time where collectively in our mind state should be basically to hell with this place, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna get destroyed anyway, and focus on what we got to do now, man, to get up out of here, man. See what I'm saying? You don't want to be too caught up in this world, man, because it'll suck you in, man. And then this truth will become something that's sort of a strange again, man, when it shouldn't be strange, man. You got to remember that the gift that you've been given, many have seeked and desired to have, man, but they will never see it, man. They'll never have it because it wasn't given to them, man. So at this point in time, we know what time we're in, man, and we got to do what we got to do. But to the point made of this a topic, so to speak, which there isn't really a set, I guess, topic, besides the fact that this place is divided against itself and it's going to get destroyed, is that knowing basically what's the scripture it says. I'll pull it up, but knowing all these things, that things are going to pass, what manner of person are you to be, man? See what I'm saying? You know, godly conversation, you know what I'm saying? So let's get verse 4, because I'm going to read all the way down to verse 10. It says, yeah, and what have ye to do? So I can't remember verse 4. Look at verse 5. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah have, and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border, man. And see, that scripture is going to tie into the second part of this portion of this lesson, is basically identifying who the Edomites are, man. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So, man, there you go. It says he sold into the Grecians, man. So the last person's hands that we were in were the Grecians, man. See what I'm saying? 'Cause that's what we were sold into. And then after that captivity, we came over here, man. That's why it says that they came as an eagle, because they were represented. They were under the eagle. But I'm gonna get I might get some of that because it's kind of a lot to go into. But yeah, man. So the last person's hands that we were in were the Grecians, man. And the Grecians were not Hawaiians, man. See what I'm saying? It wasn't the Hawaiians, man. It wasn't. Who else do people say it is? It wasn't the Elamites. It wasn't and it wasn't the Ishmaelites, man. See what I'm saying? It was you so-called Caucasians, man. Let's keep going. It says behold, verse 7 says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head, man. Verse 8 says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to the people far off, for the Lord has spoken it, man. And this is right before basically the crackdown. So it says this right here. It says, proclaim you this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong, man. So come on, man. That's what's going to happen, man. It says, verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened, and now come up to the valley of YAHAWASHI, the Lord's judgment. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, man. So yeah, man, that's the time we're coming into, man. And that's the reality of this place, man. And let's get a little bit of who Esau is, because it just said we were sold into the hands of the Grecians, man. And what do the Edomites like to call themselves? Dukes, man. So let's get some of these, man. So let's get this, man. So this is just going into Dukes, man. Because you got to remember, before the Edomites came into Europe, it was called Europa, man. And it was basically ruled by Moors, man. That's where you have the coats of arms from. And those were so-called Negroes, man. And they ruled everywhere out there, man. That's where you get the word Swarthy or Swartz or Swartz, like Schwarzenegger. See what I'm saying? It means black. So his name essentially means black. But after they took down them, they came in with the Dukes, which are these so-called Edomites, which was the tainted bloodline, and set up lies, man. That's where you get the scripture where it talks about them painting themselves in the likenesses of our image, which really that started before then. As soon as we got kicked out of our land, man. As soon as Titus and Vespasius came into our land to sack Jerusalem, and we got kicked out, and we were forced to flood to the west coast of Africa, or the Gold Coast, and then we were sold to the Grecians, man. You see what I'm saying? And that's when these Edomites came in, man. These Dukes, man. And these Dukes set themselves up to be people that they weren't, man. Well, just not even that many years beforehand, as the scriptures say, they were mowing in a bush, eating the juniper root, so to speak, man. If I'm not mistaken, man. Let me just get it too, man. But here's the scripture. It says, Genesis 36 and verse 15, it says, these were the dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of the son of Esau, man. Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gittam, Duke Amalek, see? And Amalek's in there too, man. It says, these are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are also the sons of Adah. So, let's see, man. Yeah, man, and that's when the dukes started coming in, man. And they iconoclast everything, man. We gotta remember, this is what their original state was, man. Let's get it. Let's see. This is Job chapter 30, and verse I'll start at 1, man, because these are nasty people, man. It says, Job 30 and 1, it says, but now they that are younger then I have me in derision. Salakia. Have me in derision. Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock, man. See what I'm saying? So to have set with the dogs of my flock, man. And that's why you go into the history, you see a lot of those paintings and like statues of them just having sex with animals and things like that, man. Because they were into that, man. They were trying to splice and mix genes to become more like us, man. But it wouldn't happen, man. Because they knew that they were weak. See what I'm saying? They've been doing that since ancient Babylon, man. That's why you have the half dog, half man over in Egypt, man. Let's go ahead. Verse 2, it says, yeah, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in the former time desolate and waste, who cut up the mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat, man. See what I'm saying? And they still flee into the wilderness even in this day, even in their richness and their wealth. They still go and do that dirty stuff, man. It says, they were driven forth from among men. They cry after them as after a thief, man. So we kicked them out, man. We kicked them out because they were nasty, man. And their ways bring things like disease, famine, and war, man. And just all utter chaos, man, and desolation, man. That's why as soon as they came over here, Krista, for Columbus, so to speak, man, he started slaying Native Americans. See the tribes of Gad. See what I'm saying? And I don't know if you can see this sign right here, but Gad and Reuben, man. See what I'm saying? And the Chileans, they just started spreading disease, man. So let's get it, man. But yeah, man, it says, let's see. And let's get a little bit more of their traits. Verse 6, it says, to dwell in the cliffs of the valley, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks, man. And if you look downtown, where I'm at right now, I'll pan it just so you can see. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but rocks, man. See what I'm saying? It's nothing but clefts with rocks and holes, man. See what I'm saying? That's where we at right now, man. And they're still the same way even to this day, man. Let's see. Even though they don't want to admit it, it says, among the bushes they brayed, under the nestle they were gathered together. It says they were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, man. So they're viler than the earth, man. How do you know, man? Because their blood showed forth through their skin, man. See what I'm saying? Because the Most High said that what? He said that we were made from, Adam basically means, I want to go into etymology because I don't want to slaughter it, but someone roughly paraphrasing, basically made of the earth or made of the dust, or made from the dust, man. See what I'm saying? Of the dust or of the ground, man. See what I'm saying? And we are from that lineage, man. We're made of the ground. That's why everybody else has melanin, man. See what I'm saying? That's why everybody else doesn't burn up in the sun, man. But because they're viler than the earth, which means what? It means that they weren't, they were composed of it, but they are detrimental or not detrimental, but counterproductive to it, man. See what I'm saying? That's why they're opposite of the earth, man. It says, and now and they have all their genes are recessive, man. See what I'm saying? It says, and now, verse 9, it says, and now am I their song, yet I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face, man. Whose byword are we, man? These Edomites, man. These so-called red men. See what I'm saying? Let's get this, man. Let's see, man. Let's just squash the whole thing, man. Let's get this. Let's get this, man. Let's tie in some traits. And after this, I'm gonna probably just close it because I don't want to
Not too far. So I ain't gonna front like I ain't a little discombobulated right now. So give me one more. Salakia. Find this chapter. Okay, First Maccabees. Okay, I'm gonna get this, First Maccabees, man. And then I'm gonna close it out. Let's tie it up with this, man. First Maccabees is going into basically Alexander, man. So let's get this right here, man. It says, chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, and it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of Persia, the Medes that reigned in his stead, the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth, man. So yeah, man, so they went through and they just slaying everybody, man. That's why it was knocking noses off of shit, man. It says, it went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, man. See what I'm saying? Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, man. So the earth was quiet before him, man. See what I'm saying? So it means everybody was basically in peace, man. And then he came and just destroyed everything, man. Even though the heathens was still going off, it wasn't as bad as it was when these Edomites was in rulership, man. That's why we can't be here, man. Because you gotta remember that it says that they're counterproductive to the earth, man. They're viler than the earth, which means that they're counterproductive to the earth, man. Which means what? That if they keep going, they'll end up destroying everything, man. Even themselves, man. Because they don't care, man. They really don't. Let's keep going. It says, I'm going to keep continuing on verse 3. It says, so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, man. So his mind was lifted up, so he got full of himself, man, which is a trait of these Edomites, man. And then he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and received that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, so much as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive, man. See what I'm saying? So some more basically vile, wicked people. So it says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, man. It says, and his servants bear rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, man. It says, and evils were multiplied in the earth, man. So yeah, there you go. It says evils were multiplied in the earth, man. So Alexander's line became evils because they're the evil line, man. Let's get it. So it says, let's get it. Let me pull up this scripture. Let's see if this ties in perfectly, man. Kind of getting a little bit more in the flow. Let me see. Let's get it, man. Malachi, verse 1 and verse 1, man. So let's see how much of this ties up with First Maccabees. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, where hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I have loved Jacob. I have hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, man. So it said earlier that he was basically chilling in the mountains, eating the juniper root, man. And let's get to verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, man. So yeah, that's what they did, man. So in First Maccabees is pretty much talking about that, man. It says that they went in, they destroyed places, and they built them up. Let's get it, man. Let me just read it back, see if it lines up. So there we go. It says, so First Maccabees says, verse 1 and 2 says this, It says, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, man. So yeah, man. So it says what? He said that he was impoverished, but he would return and build the desolate places. It says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So let's go to 1 Maccabees verse 1 and verse 9. I'm gonna get down to 10, and it's gonna make a lot of sense, man. You gotta remember, this is still talking about Alexander's line, man. Who we know is an Edomite, man. And it's how we're gonna know that Alexander is an Edomite, man. It says, verse 9. It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So this is what happened after Alexander's death, man. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, man. So this is coming out of Alexander's line, man. It's coming out of basically the crap that he set up, man. So it said came out of there a wicked root. And in verse 4, the ending of verse 4, Malachi 1 and 4 says this. It says, the border of wickedness. It says, I'm gonna get this. It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever, man. So there you go, man. That's how you know, man. That's how you know that Edomites are those same Grecians that brought us over here, man. And before them, they're the same pieces of shit. Slovakia, excuse my French, under Alexander, man. See what I'm saying? They have the exact same traits, man, and there's no denying it, man. There's no Hawaiians. I don't know who came up with that theory, man. See what I'm saying? That's bogus, man. And these definitely aren't Ishmaelites, man. Because you already know that Ishmael is just a wild man. So he does things as he did in the ancient world, man. And he's crazy, man. He's out there blowing himself up and stuff like that, man. Esau's not doing that, man. He'll go and he'll kill a whole bunch of other people, but Ishmael, he don't care, man. He'll take himself out and everybody else around him, man. But Esau, he's more strategic than that, man. He's a serpent, man. Ishmael's not a serpent at all, man. He's not quiet about anything, man. He's very, very flashy, man. He's like Jake. Except Jake's not as crazy as Ishmael, man. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I want to talk on, man. Is that a nation divided itself cannot stand, man. And then basically clarifying who Esau Edom was, which is these so-called red men who call themselves white people, who are Edomites, man. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm gonna close it off there. With that, hope this is edifying. I'd like to give our praise, glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Double honor to the Apostle GreatMillstone, who rule well. The other one say Shalom, Mahabak Yasha Sharala. To you hope for like to push this truth out of the forks of the earth, man. And with that, Abba, man.